MJ is definitely the GOAT. Sam, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're here with Super Bowl talk. I'm Ryan Furman here with Matt Pollard. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl 25-22, long awaited after 4 years of a rematch when the Chiefs won 31-20 against the 49ers 4 years ago. Matt?
Yeah, it was a rematch of the same Super Bowl that happened 4 years ago. Similar story, though, as the 49ers had a 10-point lead in both games near the end of the game. Just unable to close it out. I mean, I don't know what their defense is doing. I don't know what their offense is doing. They just couldn't keep the Chiefs in check when the game came down to the biggest moment.
Yeah, but let's get into the first quarter of the game. The first drive that the 49ers have, I thought this game was going to be an absolute shootout. I do not think that many teams at all can stop CMC, but he fumbled on the first possession in the red zone. I did not think that was going to happen at all. And you see George Kittle joking around on that play with George Karlaftis being like, oh, hey, like mentioning that they had the same name. Hey, George, whatever. Like, you cannot do that in that big of a stage at that important in that important game. But it didn't matter because Isaiah Pacheco on that next possession fumbled as well.
Yeah, a lot of fumbles to start the game. I mean, both were really deep in the other team's other team's field. Pacheco fumbled, McCaffrey fumbled. It was like shocking. I thought it was going to be high scoring also. But it was 10-3 at halftime. Defenses were taking over. And then in the end of the game, the Chiefs ended up taking over on offense thanks to Mahomes, who's been crazy these past few years. 3 Super Bowls in 5 years.
Yeah, but we really got to talk about these two teams' defenses. They always say defense wins championships. And these two teams throughout the year have just been ridiculous. The 49ers defensive line has been nonstop all year with Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and the linebacker Fred Warner. But the Chiefs did come out on top, but both teams' defenses are just ridiculously good.
I mean, on paper, if you look at the Niners team, you would probably think they have like a better chance of winning because of all the guys they have. But ultimately, the Chiefs' coaching is probably what helped them win that game. Because Kyle Shanahan is not good in these big games, as we've seen over these past few years.
No, not at all. But Patrick Mahomes won the NFL MVP multiple years. He won the Super Bowl MVP this year. Let's talk about the unsung hero of the losing team that everyone leaves for granted after so many years. Jawan Jennings just went absolutely nuts during the Super Bowl. He had a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Hasn't been done since Nick Foles. Of course, that's so sad to say with us being Eagles fans, of course. But, yeah.
I mean, he came out of nowhere. He was quiet the whole year, threw a touchdown, called a touchdown. If they won the Super Bowl, he should definitely have been the MVP. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do that and close things out.
No, but let's also talk about the field goal kickers from both teams. 2 records broken back-to-back. First with the rookie, Jake Moody, being able to kick the longest field goal in Super Bowl history with, 54 yards was it?
Yeah.
And then later in the game, Harrison Butker kicking a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah, I mean, that came out of nowhere. Like, if this was like 10 years ago, that would have been insane because like 10 years ago, 45 was long. This year, 55 is casual. But speaking of kicking, one of the biggest plays of the game came near the end when the Niners scored a touchdown. And Jake Moody, their young kicker, who's been good the whole year, had his extra point blocked. So instead of them being up by 4, they went up by 3.
Yeah, but now let's talk about the overtime series where Kyle Shanahan didn't want to give the Chiefs the ball, even though the new rule makes it so a lot of people are saying you should give up the ball and take the second possession. It cost them in the end. But let's talk about McCole Hardman's game-winning touchdown. He was in complete shock. I remember reports saying, like, he had no clue what was happening. Like, he was in a trance almost, and Patrick Mahomes went up to him like, we won the Super Bowl, we won the Super Bowl. Like, it was just so incredible to see, even though we're Eagles fans and we really don't like either team. But it was really cool to see, of course, all the happiness in Chiefs Kingdom. But if I had to pick a Super Bowl champion for next year, I'm going to have to pick the Eagles, and I think they're going to play the Ravens. But let's move on to HSN Olympics.